Fair to say that American politics may well be entering its most dangerous period in modern times. On Monday evening, a grand jury in Fulton County, as you've most probably heard already, Georgia, voted to bring a total of 13 felony charges against Donald Trump. Although I have to say there's a story today that the court released a statement about the charges before they'd been signed off by the jury. I mean, you've got to wonder what's going on here, but it means all up, the former president is defending 91 criminal charges. I won't go into the detail. The bulk of them are farcical and driven by Democrat forces. But in relation to the Monday grand jury decision, the former New Jersey Superior Court judge, Andrew Napolitano, said that Trump's call with the Georgia Secretary of State, which seems to have everyone in a tiz, did not warrant charges. Now, in the call, Donald Trump appears to say that he wants the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, quote, to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have before we won the state. Now, of course, you can interpret that however you like. But at the same time, this is from a leaked audio. But as the former judge Napolitano said, it is beyond me how the government is going to take that simple, innocent phone call with one sentence in it and turn that into a criminal conspiracy. Now, while the specifics are unknown, it's said that 10 indictments have been filed against individuals, but the one against Donald Trump was released before the jury signed off on it. 4 prosecutions against Donald Trump are using novel and untested legal theories. In a statement after the Georgia indictment, Donald Trump made the point that days before Trump announced his 2024 presidential campaign, Joe Biden declared on national TV that serious efforts would be taken to stop Trump from being able to, quote, take power again. The highly regarded Republican Senator Ted Cruz has described the latest indictment by a Georgia grand jury as, quote, nakedly political and another attempt at election interference. That's a very good point. Election interference. So here are the Democrats trying to determine who should or shouldn't run for the presidency. Said Ted Cruz, the target is political. This is not the rule of law. This is not enforcing the law fairly. The Republican Senator Lindsey Graham warned Democrats to, quote, be careful what you wish for. Following the Fulton County indictment, he said, are we going to let county prosecutors start prosecuting the President of the United States, the former President of the United States? He said, you're opening up a Pandora's box to the presidency. Well, Trump is right. There are now 2 levels of justice in the United States. But before we go to Peggy, a couple of things need to be said about this Trump presidency. In his final State of the Union address, that's in 2020, just before the election at the end of the year, Donald Trump made several key points. Under his presidency, 7 million new jobs had been created. The unemployment rate was the lowest in over half a century. This is the bloke we're talking about. This is why they're frightened of him. The average unemployment rate under his administration was lower than that of any administration in the history of America. The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans reached the lowest levels in history. The unemployment rate for women reached the lowest level in 70 years. The unemployment rate for veterans dropped to a record low. The unemployment rate for disabled Americans reached an all-time low. Now, under the Obama administration, more than 10 million people were added to the food stamp rolls. Under Trump's administration, 7 million Americans came off food stamps and 10 million people were lifted off welfare. In 8 years under Obama's presidency, over 300,000 working-aged people dropped out of the workforce. In 3 years of the Trump administration, 3.5 million working-aged people joined the workforce. And so it goes on. On the other side, compelling evidence from Devon Archer, a former partner of Joe Biden's son Hunter, suggests that Joe Biden has lied repeatedly about his involvement in Hunter Biden's grimy international business affairs. The Republican James Comer, who's the chairman of the House of Representatives Oversight Committee, has released a transcript of testimony by Devon Archer, a partner of Hunter Biden's, which suggested that Hunter Biden's lucrative position on the board of Burisma might have stemmed from access to his father. Devon Archer claimed, and I quote, Burisma would have gone out of business if it didn't have the Biden family brand attached to it. People would be intimidated to mess with the Bidens legally. Devon Archer said Hunter Biden whom Republicans claim was selling access to his father to Chinese and Ukrainian companies, had put Joe Biden on speakerphone about 20 times when in business meetings. Hunter Biden was on $83,000 a month in the employ of Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company, when Hunter Biden had no experience whatsoever in the energy industry. Joe Biden has repeatedly denied any knowledge of his son's dealings, but multi-million-dollar payments have been made to Biden family accounts from foreign entities over the years. The Devon Archer evidence was that Burisma had requested Hunter Biden, quote, seek help from D.C. with the company's legal problems, knowing that the Obama administration had significant economic leverage over Kiev. What do we make of this?